Hi everybody, welcome back, or if you're new, welcome in. My name is Chris, and normally I go around Colorado exploring places and occasionally going back to some places I do like. But today, I'm in California at Disneyland. I've already done a rope drop video. I'll link that in the description. But now, it's coming up to 10:30. It's lunchtime. It's time to head out of the park real quick and go explore some of the resort. So why don't you come along and let's see what we can see. I think I managed about 10 rides in that 2.5 hour period so far. But let's just relax now, go get some lunch. I'm a little bit hungry. Yeah, the place where I'm going to eat is Earl of Sandwich, but before we get there, I've got a little story to tell. You see, this location of Earl of Sandwich is not long for this world. They are building a Portos here. In fact, that Portos is going to take that entire building, this entire area, and those two turnstiles over there, or those two ticket booths over there. And that's going to be the footprint for the new building. But for some reason, it just keeps getting delayed. Nobody really knows why. In fact, it's created quite an interesting situation, as you're about to see. You see, right here on the far end is the future home of Earl of Sandwich. Yeah, they are building another one for when they close that one to make room for that Portos. Incidentally, this one is in roughly the same location as the original Earl of Sandwich here at Disney. You see, they closed that Earl and tore it down, along with an AMC theater right in this general area, in order to make room for all of these improvements. But our story does not end there, because straight ahead is the temporary location of Earl of Sandwich. They put this one up because Portos was supposed to have begun construction already. But now we have 2.5 Earls of Sandwich. But I'm back at the La Brea version. I got myself a frozen lemonade and a chicken chipotle sandwich. Let's give it a try. Yeah, this is the place to go for cheap food. The sandwich is about $9.50. Cheapest food you'll get in this place. Ooh, and very hot. Cheers. Definitely worth it. That was a nice fuel up. Unfortunately, I am in quite a bit of pain. It's actually kind of difficult to walk right now. Probably overdid it over the past day or so. But let's keep on going. Yeah, I don't know if it's rheumatoid or just too much walking, but yeah, I'll get by. Yeah, I think at this point I'm going to change up my idea for the video. Just get myself a quick cocktail, then head back into the park and maybe go sit in the nice air conditioning of the Tiki Room. But yeah, let's go in and get that cocktail really quick, because this thing's pretty cool looking. Yeah, this is one of those places that's opened up since the last time I was here. They actually have a bar upstairs. And this is a nice little space. And it's air conditioned. And here it is. It's called the Sleepy Hollow. It's only here for the Halloween season. That's why I had to make sure to get it. Alright. Cheers. Alright, I can really taste the rum in this. This is a delicious drink. Absolutely worth the $18. You can spend a little bit extra and keep the glass. I'm not going to, because I gotta fly home and that thing will break. I love that glass. I have no idea what those plants are coming out of it, but they smell wonderful. Yeah, hats off to my bartender Tyler in there. She was awesome. She let me try the brand new frozen Mai Tai, which is on the secret menu. Yeah, make sure when you go in there that you tell them that you would like to wake up the Glee Club, and you'll get the secret menu. However, what I got was on the Halloween menu, and you don't need a password for that. Yeah. Head back into the park for a little bit. I'll be back out soon. And if anybody was wondering, yes, you can still just show up and buy a ticket. Wow, is it park hopper time? This is a long line to get back in. Guess I'll pick this one. All right, I'm back in. Apparently that delay is because, well, everybody does need to have a picture taken as they enter. And the process is taking a while. But now that I'm back in the park, it's time for some air conditioning. Let's go see Robot Walt. First, a nice little look at some of the memorabilia in here, including some of the concept art. This is all Fantasyland. And there's some old Fantasyland plans. And the other side of the Fantasyland art. Ooh, Dumbo would have been interesting in pink. And here we have a recreation of Walt's apartment, including the lamp that you always see in the window up above the firehouse. Possibly one of the best lands ever put together, New Orleans. Oh wow, this is some of Bob Gurr's work. Yeah, he did all three of those attractions. Granted, one of them is no longer here, but there's a nice little bit of concept art of America Sings. That's the attraction that replaced the Carousel of Progress and now just sits pretty much vacant. I think it's a DVC lounge now. It's a nice display of some of the early animatronics, including Jose. Yeah, quick little look at some of the early animatronics and well, some of the devices used to make them. Oh, wow, they even have this one in here.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Yeah, there's even some old pictures of Walt in here. I'm not sure if I'm going to film the show or not. A lot of people have, and apparently the video's not quite too flattering. It's hard to capture, especially with the lighting. So we'll see. But I will give you my thoughts on the show after it's over, regardless. And just think, now Walt is one of them. You know, I do wish they had that one photo I saw in the Dream of Walt, with him looking out over the ocean. That is such a beautiful photo. Yeah, I'll definitely be seeing some pirates later on in the day. Oh, I didn't even notice it before, but there's the original singing bird. That's what inspired the Tiki Room right there.
To tell you about Walt Disney's Enchanted Tiki Room. It is the most amazing show in Disneyland. It is 17 minutes in all. The birds tell jokes, the flowers sing, the tikis chant, and my cousin Jose, he whistles and he croons. You have to see it to believe it, and then you will not believe it.
Yeah, this space now has double meaning for me. Back when I was in high school, I had to do this, well, it was basically a play on great Americans. I decided I was going to do two of them, Abraham Lincoln and Walt Disney. I did that mostly so I could come here and watch the Great Moments with Mr. Lincoln show, but I would have been able to do a lot more research today. But I'm going to go see the show real quick. Again, if I don't show you any of it, I'll just let you know how it was.
They say that Hollywood is a town built on dreams, and one of its greatest dreamers was Walt Disney. His life was filled with both exhilarating success and heartbreaking setbacks. But he never gave up. He just kept moving toward that great big, beautiful tomorrow. The story of Walt's life is truly a magical one, and no one could tell it quite like Walt himself.
My dad worked as a carpenter in the World's Fair building. He eventually ended up in Chicago as a contractor. And he was doing that when I was born. December 1901. My dad made some money as a contractor. Then he wanted to get back to the farm. They finally ended up buying this farm in Marceline, Missouri. It was a beautiful farm. But it was not the kind of farm to make a living on. Things got pretty tough on the farm, and my dad had a sickness. So my dad sold the farm, took the money, and went to Kansas City. And my dad bought this Kansas City Star route. And they gave me a route. I was about 9 or 10 when I started that. Winter, we'd go out at 3:30 in the morning right after a blizzard, or in a blizzard, or in pouring rain. It didn't matter. I did that for 6 years. It was tough.
The constant hardship took a heavy toll on the Disney family. One by one, the children began to leave home. Then one day, Walt woke up to find his best friend, his brother Roy, had gone as well. So Walt did something that he would do throughout his life when things got tough. He took a chance.
My brother had joined the Navy, so I wanted to join him. Well, I was still a year too young. I was 16. Finally, this kid come in to me very excited. He said, there's something just forming here that you and I can get in. I said, what is it? He said, an ambulance unit. I was in Paris, 3rd of September, when Pershing pulled out. Paris, which had been this exciting thing with all these soldiers and things, suddenly there wasn't a soldier to be seen. And I suddenly became very lonesome. So then I went in and put a request in to be discharged. I hit Chicago. That's where my parents were living. And I said, Dad, I want to be an artist. And my dad, he just couldn't buy it. So I pulled stakes and moved to Kansas City. Roy was in Kansas City working in a bank. One of the fellows working with Roy said, say, I have a couple of friends that have an art shop. So I went up to these samples, and there were all these corny things I'd done in France. Well, my gosh, they hired me. I mean, right on the spot. So I took the camera home, and then I started experimenting in my own way. But then I went into this Kansas City Film Net. So that was where I got started in the animation business. So I was thinking if I had something with a novel to it, I might crack the market. But I still couldn't get anywhere with it. I failed. I learned a lot out of that. And I think it's important to have a good art failure when you're young. So I packed all my worldly goods in a cardboard suitcase. I went to Hollywood. Arriving there with just $40 in my pocket from my Kansas City ventures. Now my brother Roy was already in Los Angeles. Both of us were unemployed. We solved the problem by going into business for ourselves. We established the first animated cartoon studio in Hollywood.
Walt's dreams were finally coming true. He had his first big hit, Oswald the Lucky Rabbit. And he had married the love of his life, Lillian, an ink and paint artist at the studio who shared his dreams. Then he was dealt a devastating blow. On a business trip to New York City, he learned that he had lost ownership of Oswald due to a contract loophole. And to make matters worse, the distributor had signed away Walt's artists. Most people would have given up right then and there. Not Walt Disney. He sent a telegram to his brother Roy. Everything okay. And as he headed home to California, something happened along the way that would change things forever.
Mickey Mouse came into our life.
He popped out of my mind onto a drawing pad on a train ride from Manhattan to Hollywood at a time when the business fortunes of my brother Roy and myself were at lowest ebb and disaster seemed right around the corner. His first actual screen appearance was at the Old Colony Theater in New York in Steamboat Willie. He was the first cartoon character to express personality, and I thought of him from the first as a distinct individual. I did the voice. Hang on, pal. Here we go. Mickey was simply a little personality assigned to the purposes of laughter. Mickey fitted the need exactly. He brought in the money which saved the day. He enabled us to explore our medium, and he paved the way for our more elaborate screen ventures.
By nature, I'm an experimenter, so I had another idea which was plaguing my brain. It was the Silly Symphonies. It was a series without a central character.
Every one of us are a new type of subject to give us something to reach out and accomplish something different. Then we started distributing both Mickey Mouse and the Silly Symphonies. It was nip and tuck, getting them up.
Walt began to push himself and his artists, and when he wasn't working, he was worrying about the future. And then the inevitable happened. In 1931, he had what he called a heck of a breakdown. So he did something unique for Walt Disney. He took time off and took his wife on the first vacation they had ever had. When they returned, he was a new man, filled with ideas for the future.
Short subject is just a filler on any program. Now, if I could crack the feature field, then I could do things. I had done a little story research on different fairy tales I might do, and Snow White was one of them. I thought it was a perfect story. I had the heavy.
It's a magic wishing apple. Now, make a wish.
I had the prince, then the girl, the romance. I had the sympathetic dwarfs and things. We started Snow White sometime late 35, and it was around 2 years in the making. We had the family fortune, we had everything wrapped up in Snow White. In fact, the banker, I think, was losing more sleep than I was. We had a big premiere in the Carthy Circle Theater, big, grand Hollywood premiere. All of Hollywood brass turned out for a cartoon.
The Daddy of Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs is going to be presented this beautiful statue. Isn't it bright and shiny?
Oh, it's beautiful.
Aren't you proud of Mr. Disney?
Well, I'm so proud, I think I'll bust.
With the profits of Snow White, I built a studio. Two years later, I was almost broke. But I had all these pictures and words.
Oh, no kidding?
You can see there are no strings on me.
Dandy. Fantasia.
That was when the war came. The whole world was collapsing down. So many of my boys went through the service. So I just practically stopped my feature production. That's all I could do. But after the war, there was quite a problem picking up the pieces. I knew that diversifying in the business would be the salvation of it. So I tried various things. I wanted to go beyond the cartoon. And I thought if I could get into the live end, that there's things I could do.
Stem branches.
Not bad, eh, Charlie? Let's open her up and see what she'll really do.
I wanted to look different types of things that I could fall on my nose. One of these pictures, but I had another one right behind it that would hit.
After long concentration on live action and cartoon films, we decided to try something that would employ about every trick we learned in the making of films. We would combine cartoon and live action in an enormous fantasy, Mary Poppins. As the original Mary Poppins budget of $5 million continued to grow, I never saw a sad face around the studio. Even my brother Roy was happy. This made me nervous, and a horrible thought struck me. Suppose the staff had finally conceded that I knew what I was doing.
Once again, Walt Disney had created storytelling magic to reinvent family entertainment. But even then, he wasn't finished. He had a bigger dream in mind.
Well, it came about when my daughters were very young, and Saturday was always Daddy's Day with the two daughters. So we'd start out and try to go someplace with, different things, and I would take them to the merry-go-round, and I took them different places, and as I'd sit there while they rode the merry-go-round, did all these things, I felt that there should be something built, some kind of an amusement enterprise built where the parents and the children could have fun together. So that's how Disneyland started. Takes a lot of money to make these dreams come true. And we had everything mortgaged, including my family. Started with many ideas, threw them away, started all over again. Eventually it evolved into what you see today as Disneyland. But it all started from a daddy with two daughters wondering where he could take them, where he could have a little fun with them too. The park means a lot to me in that something will never be finished, something that I can keep developing and adding to. Not only will I add things, but even the trees will keep growing. The thing will get more beautiful every year. And I knew that if I did anything like the park, I had to have some kind of a medium like television to let the people know about it.
The world is a carousel of colors. History, comedy, fantasy. There's drama and mirth. There's old Mother Earth with all of her secrets to see. The miracle of imagination. The marvels of earth, sea, and sky. These wonders untold are ours to behold in the funny world. The sunny world, the wonderful world of Earth.
And now your host, Walt Disney. Today, I want to share with you some of our ideas for Disney World. Here in Florida, we have something special we never enjoyed at Disneyland, the blessing of size. There's enough land here to hold all the ideas and plans we could possibly imagine. We know what our goals are. We know what we hope to accomplish. And believe me, it's the most exciting and challenging assignment we've ever tackled at Walt Disney Productions.
Throughout his storied career, Walt never gave up, despite the many challenges along the way. For his visionary work, he received hundreds of awards from all corners of the globe, more Academy Awards than any individual in history, and the Presidential Medal of Freedom for a lifetime of inspiring others. He created dreams that live on today for millions around the world. But with all of that, when asked to name his greatest reward, Walt's reply was surprisingly humble.
Well, my greatest reward, I think, is that I've been able to build this wonderful organization, and also to have the public appreciate and accept what I've done all these years. That is a great reward. But all individuals are different. I had a brother who I really envied because he was a mailman, but he was the one that had all the fun. He had himself a trailer, and he used to go off and go fishing, and he didn't worry about payrolls, that story. He said, picture grocers or anything, and he was the happy one. I always said, he's the smart Disney. You know, I was stumped one day when the little boy asked, "Do you draw Mickey Mouse?" And I had to admit I do not draw anymore. Well, then you think of all the jokes and ideas. No, I said, I don't do that. Finally, he looked at me and said, "Mr. Disney, just what do you do?" Well, I said, sometimes I think of myself as a little bee. I go from one area of the studio to another and gather pollen and sort of stimulate everybody. I guess that's the job I do. You know, there's a lot of satisfaction in developing ideas into realities, but there's really no secret about our approach. we keep moving forward, opening up new doors, doing new things, because we're curious. And curiosity keeps leading us down new paths. We're always exploring and experimenting. We're interested in doing things that are fun, in bringing pleasure and especially laughter to people. But I only hope that we never lose sight of one thing. That was all started by a mouse.
Well, I wasn't the only one with tears in my eyes during that show. Sorry, a little emotional. The person next to me was crying too, so it wasn't just me. You know, Walt Disney died exactly 3,090 days before I was born. But his life, it does impact all of us. Well, I guess on that note, I'm going to start wrapping this video up. So I want to thank you for joining me, even though this one didn't quite end out where I expected it to. Got a little overheated and needed that air conditioning. Yeah, make sure you like, subscribe, all that other fun stuff. And, well, I'll see you next time. Because my day in Disneyland is not quite done. See you next time.